Hello and welcome to Brand X Reviews. In this one we're going to be looking at the 1991 film Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Now this is a film that was very successful when it came out and pretty much today is viewed as a classic, so it's kind of hard to really believe it's been out for as long as it has. I remember when this came out, I was about 10 at the time and it was a big summer hit. Not just because of the film itself, but of course the single that came out, the Bryan Adams single, which broke records at the time. I'm pretty sure it has held the record for consecutive number of weeks at #1 spot in the UK charts. That's 16 weeks. There are other singles that have spent longer, has had more weeks at #1, but this was the one that spent the largest number of consecutive weeks without kind of being knocked off the #1 spot. I do actually, just to start with, I do actually own the LP of this. It's something I picked up because I collect records. I bought this quite recently actually. It's pretty cool. But this was a single that came out. This was a 12-inch of that. I don't think you really get anything with it. I don't think there's anything. Yeah, it's just the LP basically. But it's a pretty cool collector's item anyway. The soundtrack as well, which was also had the song on it, but it was the score that was done by the late Michael Kamen. He's a really good film composer. He's done a lot of really good film scores like Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, License to Kill, so many others. He worked with Metallica at one point as well. A really good album called S&M. It's like a 2-disc album. I'm kind of getting off course there, but just to say that his score really helped make this film, so it's pretty good. Pretty good if you're into that kind of thing. I'm a collector, that's why I own this. But yeah, that's just something else to own. Now the film itself, anyway, obviously I should probably be focusing on the film itself. Came out on DVD. It was a fairly early one to come out on DVD. I think Warner Brothers were one of the first few studios to start releasing their films on DVD in the late 90s. But around about 2004, I think. Yeah, early 2004. I'm just going off memory. They released this extended version. I want to get it right because sometimes generically usually called a director's cut, but this is the extended version. It's really good. The extra stuff that it's got in it. You get to learn more about the Sheriff of Nottingham and his relationship to the witch that he kind of lives with at his castle. It's pretty good, and there's a lot of other deleted scenes where he's working with a lot of these occultists and stuff, and that he's got that kind of a bigger plan, which isn't really elaborated on in the theatrical version. But I won't really ruin it. If you haven't seen the extended version, it is something that I would recommend. The artwork in the inside cover is just fairly standard, really. Not even really worth showing. But it's 2-disc version. It's got loads of extras as well, and for some reason I kept the receipt from this. There's a blast from the past, Woolworths. So you can tell I got this quite a while ago. But yeah, the film itself, the extended version is 149 minutes, so it's quite a long film really. That's what, 2.5 hours, something like that. But yeah, really good. They have released. There was another Robin Hood film that came out in 2010 with Russell Crowe, which is kind of an unofficial sequel to the film Gladiator. That's the way I look at it, as being an unofficial sequel. But it didn't touch, this film. This is really kind of definitive. There's been a lot of other things like TV shows. I think there was one called Robin of Sherwood, which was done in the 80s. I think supposed to be quite good. I've got a fellow reviewer you might have seen in the Star Wars reviews, The Core. He might want to do a review of Robin of Sherwood, the TV series, because I'm pretty sure he owns those on DVD. So, Core, if you're watching this, get off your ass and do a review of that TV series. Do it as a follow-up to this. Anyway, that's the extended version of the film. Anyway, one thing I really liked, because bearing in mind I was 10 when this film came out, they released a load of figures that were done by Kenner, which was the company that did Star Wars figures as well, which they've done a lot of other things, but I'm mentioning the Star Wars figures because they actually kind of recycled a lot of the model, the models to make the vehicles and the play sets and the figures and stuff, based on the old Star Wars stuff. So they kind of, I think there was an Ewok village from Return of the Jedi play set that, again, the core had this, so you would probably be better at commenting on this than me. But they kind of redecorated it and re-released it as a Robin Hood play set. But I'll go through each of the figures. There's not many of them, I just happen to own them all and I've got all the accessories, so I just thought it'd be pretty cool to show these on video.
Fight for justice against the evil Sheriff of Nottingham.
Robin with a fateful Azim defends Sherwood Forest.
Ha! I found your hideout! Surrender!
You put the Sherwood Forest playset together.
Little John, greet our visitor. I, Robin.
Figures and playsets sold separately.
Ha! Didn't get me. Come on, Sheriff. We got you right where we want you.
There's only one Prince of Thieves, Robin Hood.
The first one that I got was this one. It's Robin Hood, obviously. And he's kind of got this this covering that he wears, this robe or whatever. It comes with a crossbow. These crossbows are pretty cool. It has like an arrow that goes into it, obviously, and you just kind of flick it and it fires out. But if I do that, I'll probably end up losing it. So that was that was complete. There were a few others that you could get. There was another Robin Hood one, which was the longbow version, and it came with 3 arrows, which held in this kind of sheath thing. And you could take these arrows. I don't know how well this would work now, to be honest, because it's aged quite a bit, but you could put it in this little thing and kind of fire them out, which is pretty cool. And it holds it. You can sort of put it in his hand as well, but I think it also goes over his chest like that, so you can kind of wear the bow as well. These are pretty cool figures back in, for when they came out anyway. There's Azim, which is the Morgan Freeman character. Is pretty cool. He's got his big sword. Is that a scimitar? I'm not a major expert on swords, but I'm pretty sure that's what you call that kind of sword. So it has a kind of pretty good likeness to him as well, and that's complete. All these figures, like I say, are complete. It's quite rare that I was able to actually get these and managed to keep hold of them. I think when I was around about 10, that was pretty much when a lot of kids stopped playing with like figures and stuff, but I was still collecting them. That's why these are still intact, because I kind of got a lot of stick at that age for like collecting figures, because it was like, oh, you play with them. It's like, well, I don't play with them, I collect them, which is why I've still got all the like pieces today. I still collect stuff like that. I admit it, I'm 32 years old and I still collect toys. But this one is the Sheriff of Nottingham. To think about that then. Yeah, the Sheriff of Nottingham, played by Alan Rickman. The facial likeness isn't brilliant on this. I don't know if I've got that in focus on it, but it's a pretty good figure nevertheless, and the sword he's got is pretty good. And he has this pretty cool chainmail style material for his, it's kind of like a cape, is that? Not that he wears a cape in the film, but I'm pretty sure he does wear something very similar to this in the film. So again, it's quite impressive. And he has this like gold chain as well. I don't know if you can make that out. But like I said, the facial likeness isn't brilliant compared to the others. I don't know if I showed this close up before, but the likeness to Kevin Costner of this is pretty impressive for a figure that came out in the early 90s anyway. Because some figures that came out back in the day were shocking. Like the Will Scarlet figure has no real resemblance to what's his name, Christian Slater, that played Will Scarlet. This again, like the other Robin Hood figure that I had, came with a crossbow, but he had 3 arrows and another sheath. Now this one, you might notice, like I said, they recycled a lot of these old toy casts or whatever and just kind of re-released them. This one, look at his torso. Does that remind you of anything? Think of Batman. Well, look at Robin out of Batman, which I also have one from back in the day. They basically used the same torso, just kind of repainted it. But still, it's a good figure anyway. It comes with a coat as well. So that's that. There's a few others. There's this this knight type character. He's got like a axe spear thing that kind of, if I can get it into his hand. I see these have aged quite a bit. They haven't really been taken out. I can barely get that in his hand. I won't force it. But I've got a couple of these ones. Actually, I've got another one in a bag. But again, it comes in a similar sort of chainmail style material. That's quite impressive, and he has like a little dagger as well that kind of fits into his belt, and the helmet comes off as well, which is pretty cool. Now, back when the film came out, these were the only ones that I collected. There were a couple more that I didn't have, but back in sort of, I think it was 2001 when eBay started really picking up in the UK. I remember getting these off there to complete my collection, the other 2 figures that I never had. Friar Tuck and Little John. So it's pretty cool to have these in the box. They're not particularly worth anything, unfortunately. I've looked these up in recent times, and you can still get these, and you're not paying much for them. Which is a bit of a shame, really, because they are quite nice. But I think it's because they were so mass-produced. Popularity of the film, you know, meant a lot of people were buying this kind of thing. But you can see on the back, this was the kind of stuff that you could get. I didn't have all the play sets and stuff. I did have the net launcher, which I've got here and I'll show you in a moment. But again, this is a figure, I can't really show you because it's in the box, but if you're familiar with Return of the Jedi, the Star Wars film, there are these things in Jabba the Hutt's palace called Gamorrean guards. They've got like green sort of pig face things. They're not very pretty, basically. And I can't remember the name of the actor that played Friar Tuck. What was it? Something McShane, but I can't remember it. It's gone, I can't remember, it doesn't say on there anyway. But yeah, the actor that played him wouldn't be very happy to know that they used the Gamorrean guard figure from Return of the Jedi, recycled it to make his body, basically. Which again, I can't show you, just take my word for it, that's what it is underneath the robe that he's wearing. So, I just kind of find that funny, really. Actually, I can show you the picture. This is what the figures look like, and the actor is Michael McShane. Kind of cocked it up in the video, so I thought I'd do this quick insert. Anyway, back to the video. And the Little John figure, again, like I kind of showed you before, it's similar packaging on the back. And he has a quarter staff as well, it's pretty cool. And again, the likeness isn't brilliant, but like some of the others. This is the net launcher that I've got. And it's missing a wheel, unfortunately. I don't think I'm ever going to get that back. But it just kind of fired out, don't it? It still works. Oh, it does, it still works. Yes, it kind of fires out like that. And this is like a net thing that kind of unravels. I've made a mess of it, so probably should have rehearsed that before I filmed this. But that's pretty cool anyway, part of the collection. So I wasn't really interested in the play sets and stuff like that because they're kind of bulky and take up loads of room, but it's kind of cool to still have some of these figures. I've sold a lot of these kind of thing that I used to collect from when I was a kid, like He-Man and Ghostbusters and all that stuff. It'd be nice to have kept it all, but you kind of have to pick and choose what you're going to get rid of and what you're not going to get rid of. So I thought because I've got all these and they're all complete, it's kind of cool to have and pretty cool to show you as well on here. So again, the extended version of the film anyway, if you haven't seen the film or if you haven't seen the extended version of the film, definitely check it out because it's really interesting, and the bits that were cut out of it were very good. There's a lot of other extras as well. It's got the music video, the Bryan Adams music video. Or is it? I don't know. Is it the video or is it the live version? Oh, it says the live version. But anyway, it's got a load of documentaries. I think one of the documentaries is not narrated, but presented by Pierce Brosnan. He was quite young when he did it. It was like before he did James Bond, but he was still famous back then. But that's quite interesting to see on there. So again, that's pretty much all I have to show you on this. But I hope you found it interesting. Check back for other video updates I'm going to be doing on brandxreviews.com. The YouTube channel name is just brandxreviews. Thank you very much.